If you're constantly busy but never satisfied, your ADHD brain is probably trapped in a cycle that's literally rewiring you for misery. I'm Sara Kelly, and I'm an ADHD coach for high achieving, late diagnosed women. And today I want to talk to you about what I call the ADHD dopamine trap. We're going to dig into why your ADHD brain craves all this stimulation, how that constant chase can actually leave you feeling more depleted than fulfilled, and most importantly, what you can do to shift into something calmer and way more sustainable. I want to tell you a quick story. There was this one morning I remember so clearly. I woke up with that feeling, like today was going to be the day. I had this brand new to-do list, color-coded because of course it was, and I was buzzing with energy, like that first perfect sip of coffee energy. I sat down to write this blog post that I had been thinking about for weeks. I was in the zone, fingers flying across the keyboard. And then 20 minutes later, I'm suddenly sketching out ideas for a workshop because apparently that's what my brain decided we were doing now. And then I remembered, oh crap, I haven't checked my emails in like 2 days. So I'm diving into my inbox trying to respond to this one message when I notice my desk drawer is completely chaotic. And you know how it is. Suddenly I'm organizing the drawer, which leads me to researching yoga teacher certifications online because wouldn't it be amazing to teach yoga? Which somehow ends with me ordering paint pens on Amazon because I absolutely need to try hand letter writing now. By lunchtime, I'm sitting in my kitchen staring at my laptop screen, feeling completely scattered. No blog post written, emails sitting there half answered, just this weird hollow disappointment like I'd been chasing something all morning but could never quite catch it. That feeling, that's the dopamine trap. And if you're a woman who got diagnosed with ADHD later in life, I'm betting that you know this pattern way too well. You start strong, you hop between things with genuine enthusiasm, you ride the wave of intensity for hours, and then you crash hard into guilt and overwhelm and this bone deep exhaustion that makes you question everything. So here's what's actually happening in your brain. ADHD brains naturally have lower levels of dopamine. That's a neurotransmitter that's connected to motivation, reward, and focus. It's like trying to run a car on a quarter tank of gas all the time. So without you even realizing it, we end up constantly scanning for activities or tasks or even thoughts that give us these little bursts of stimulation. Something new, dopamine hit. Something urgent or high pressure, another hit. Something risky, emotionally tense, or that you have to do in the last minute, yep, more dopamine. And here's a kicker. We live in a culture that not only tolerates this kind of scattered intensity, but actually celebrates it. We get praised for being the woman who gets it done, who juggles 15 projects, who always has her hand raised for the next opportunity. The hustle culture messaging is everywhere, telling us that if we're not constantly productive, we're somehow failing. So when you combine an ADHD brain's natural dopamine seeking with society that worships busyness, it's like the perfect storm. From the outside, you probably look incredibly capable. You've got a million creative ideas brewing at any given moment. People probably praise you for being the person who can handle anything, who always steps up when something needs to get done. But inside, your nervous system is completely fried. You never feel like you're doing enough, and you're secretly terrified that if you slow down, even for a second, everything will fall apart. I had a client, let's call her Jen, who described it perfectly. She said, I'm addicted to the feeling of starting something new, but I hate myself for never finishing anything. Jen was a marketing executive, a mom, someone who looked super successful on paper. But her days were filled with half-written emails, abandoned Notion pages, last-minute panic, and constant mental noise. She started the morning with 10 new ideas and ended it with 3 browser tabs open about ADHD time blindness, feeling like she never truly accomplished anything meaningful. And the worst part? She thought that it was a character flaw, like she was lazy or undisciplined or broken somehow. But that's not the case at all. It's your brain trying to get its needs met in the only way it knows how, by chasing stimulation. The problem with that? The chase isn't sustainable. It leads to what I call emotional whiplash. The high of hyperfocus followed by the crash of total exhaustion. And the more that you live in that cycle, the harder it becomes to tolerate things that are slow, steady, or quiet. You know, those boring but important tasks? They become torture. Sitting still, nearly impossible. Being present in the moment feels like you're crawling out of your skin. So let's talk about how to interrupt that pattern. I'm going to give you 3 small shifts that can make a massive difference. Number 1, start recognizing when you're dopamine hungry. Begin paying attention to those moments when you feel the urge to switch tasks or open a new browser tab or start a completely new project out of nowhere. When you catch yourself doing it, pause and ask yourself, what am I actually needing right now? Am I bored? Overwhelmed, trying to avoid something that feels hard? Just naming it is incredibly powerful because once you recognize it's a dopamine urge, you can respond with intention instead of just running on autopilot. Number 2, create gentle structure. I'm not talking about rigid routines or military style schedules that make you feel trapped. I mean small, flexible anchors throughout your day. Time blocking with built in wiggle room. A done for now list instead of a done forever list. Choose 3 small things you can actually finish. Structure gives your brain relief. It helps you stop spinning and start settling. It creates containers for your energy so that you're not leaking it everywhere all the time. Practice satisfying closure. ADHD brains don't always register that something is complete, so we don't get that sense of reward and accomplishment. Instead, we just jump to the next thing, always chasing the next hit. What if you actually celebrated completion? Even for something small, emptying the dishwasher, closing your laptop, sending one email, pause and say, that's done. I did it. It sounds silly, but it actually helps your brain feel satisfaction. And that rewires your system so that you don't need constant newness to feel good. If this is hitting home and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is totally me, I want you to know this is the exact kind of thing I help my clients work through every single day. This isn't a character flaw or a lack of willpower. It's literally how your brain is wired. And once you understand that, you can work with it instead of against it. And again, if you're ready to step off this exhausting roller coaster, I'd love to help you figure out what this looks like. You can book a free clarity call with me. The link is in the description of this video. It's a calm, no pressure space where we can talk about what's working, what's not, and what your brain actually needs to feel better. So let's recap. Notice when you're chasing dopamine, build gentle structure, and practice satisfying closure. And here's one more thing that really helps. Give yourself moments of dopamine quiet. No music, no to-do list, no phone, just 5 minutes of stillness. It helps retrain your brain to tolerate calm without reaching for stimulation. If you've been living in this go hard, crash, repeat cycle, you're not alone. So many smart, capable women with ADHD get stuck here. It's not your fault, and it doesn't have to stay that way. You can rebuild a life that feels calm and sustainable without losing your spark or your creativity. And if you're ready for that, click the link below and book a call. Let's get you out of the trap and into a rhythm that finally feels good for you. Thank you for watching. Remember to be kind to your brain, like, subscribe, share, and I will see you in the next one.